Happy New Year! Welcome to our channel, Our Scientology Stories. My name is Mark Fisher and
Janis Gillham Grady. Keep that music going. I love it.
I thought it would be festive for the new year, so I just put that together. How you doing today, Janis?
I'm good.
Well, this is our New Year's video to our viewers out there. We want to wish everybody in advance a Happy New Year, end of 2023 and going into 2024. And we wanted to recap our past year a little bit, and then also talk about New Year's in the Scientology and the Sea Organization and on the Apollo. And then we'll talk a little bit about what we're going to be doing in the new year. So without further ado, Janis, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about how did we even start this thing?
Yeah, well, I wanted to thank Aaron Smith-Levin because this year, back in February, when I was on my 7-week road trip and I went down through Florida, I stopped in Clearwater, called Aaron. I said, hey, you want to do an interview with me? And I went over to his studio and did an interview, and we had so many laughs, and I enjoyed it so much that I was like, and Aaron was like, you need to do your own channel. You've got some great stories. So that's when I got back, you and I started talking, and Aaron was advising me, get this microphone, get these headsets, and he just kept telling me what to do. And without his advice, I don't think we would have accomplished what we have. He's played my interview, and he did another couple of interviews with me. He took bits of our interviews that we'd done and shown them on his channel, Growing Up in Scientology. And so basically, we owe it to Aaron for our start on this. He did a real good job on that. So thank you, Aaron, if you're listening. So
Absolutely.
that's how it started.
Same for me. I mean, I was on his channel after that. I got interviewed a couple of times, and you and I did some, Monday nights with him and some other people on the show. And then also when I was coming under attack, when the spy files came out, I did a great interview with Aaron, and we went through my spy file that we got from 2006. And so, yeah, we want to say thank you to Aaron, and also thank you to the other YouTube creators, because we've gotten a lot of support from everybody, not just Aaron. We've gotten support from Mark McClare, and we've gotten support from John Poe, people like Denver Stevo, Marilyn Honig, Lara FM, right? Sterling Tompkins,
Amy and Matt Sterling.
Tompkins, yes. We've all been kind of interactive together, trying to help each other with their channels. Gary Jackson Moorhead, and we just want to say thank you to all of them.
Dylan Gill, he's just getting up and going, but he's been very supportive in the background, and we always see him in the comments section.
Yeah. Anyway, we want to thank everybody for starting up. So just to recap a little bit, okay? So we started our channel on April 17th, 2003, this year, right? And amazingly, Janis, I didn't know this, but we've done 137 videos since April 17th to today. And that's like, wow. I was like, that's 15 a month.
Yeah, I don't know where we found the time.
Well, and we've been lucky enough to have 35 different guests that we've interviewed, right? And I was just to let people know, I mean, 35 different people, and these are just some of them. Ken Urquhart, who was LRH's personal butler and personal communicator. We did the first interview with Mitch Brisker on YouTube, the Scientology former Scientology director, who now has his own channel, and he's been very supportive. We did interviews with Neville Chamberlain, Danielle Chamberlain, Tom DeFore, Robin Scott, Apostate Alex, Claire and Mark Headley, Mike Rinder. We've done interviews, of course, with Aaron Smith-Levin, Sterling Tompkins, Steve Canane, the reporter from Australia, Roger Weller, Ira Chaliff, Denver Stevo, John Poe, Scott and Kerry Campbell, Tom Martiniano, Robbie Levin, Ursula Caberta in Germany, Jeffrey Augustine, Jeff Hawkins. We did the first interview with Biddy Miscavige Blythe, and then we did a series of interviews with her. James Mortland, Gary Jackson Moorhead, Matt Pesh, Amy Scobie, your daughter, Erin Grady, Karen Della Carriere, who's a big supporter of our channel as well, Claudio and Renata Lugli, Phil Jones, and Shelley's first boyfriend before David Miscavige, Tom Francis.
That's right.
That we had on there. So we've had quite a few guests on the
And
show in this time. Go ahead.
and Claire and Mark Headley.
Yeah, I mentioned them already. They
Oh,
were
you
all in
did?
there.
Okay.
So anyway, so we've had like 35 people, and we've had many more reach out to us, right, Janis?
Oh, I've got a whole list. I'm filling the calendar with them.
So you've got a lot of interviews and stories coming up to look forward
Yes.
to in the new year. I also wanted to mention that as of today, we just went over
Wow.
500,000 views on our channel. That's 500,000 views in 9 months. I'm amazed.
Wow.
Janis, did you ever think we would get, I don't know about you, but I would thought we'd be lucky if we got 10,000 views. I mean, 500,000 views is a lot of views, right?
Yeah, I never thought about it, but that's a lot of views.
Yeah, and we're small in comparison to big channels like Aaron and some other people, but still 500,000 for us. We're very proud of that. And then the other statistic that we've got over 9,000 subscribers in 9 months. So that's like an average of 1,000 subscribers a month, and we really appreciate that support from the viewers and people who subscribe and enjoy our stories. We get a lot of really positive comments, right, Janis?
Oh yeah, one of the several comments say how underrated we are, and I really appreciate that. That means a lot that people think that we're underrated and that we're better than because people don't know us. And
and we put a lot of work. You and I put a lot of work into putting these shows together with all the photographs and getting them in order and the slides and arranging the interviews, right?
Yes, and some photographs not showing up.
That's right. Well, our number one viewed video this year was our first interview with Biddy Miscavige, and that was by far and away our number one interview, and it was got tremendous views on that. And then we did a series of 4 or 5 videos with her, and she was just wonderful, right?
Oh well, Biddy's always wonderful. I've known Biddy since we were like 16, 14 years old, something like that. So I always enjoy chatting with Biddy. We have some good laughs.
Yeah, and if anybody missed it, they're still on our channel. We have them grouped together as a playlist, so you can watch them in order if you'd like. And then our number 2 most watched video was this one with Karen, our friend Karen de la Carriere. And number 3 was also Karen de la Carriere, this video that we did too. So she's been a very popular guest that we've had on our channel, and those were our top 3 most viewed videos for the year. So I just wanted to let everybody know that.
And I do want to comment, I have a great friendship with Karen. I've known Karen since the days on the ship. We were on the ship together, and later after my mother passed away, she married my stepfather, Hubbard Gents. So we had a good relationship as family, and we still have a good relationship and connection and enjoy each other. So I always do love having Karen come on the show.
That's right. And then we've done series. We did the Messenger series, L. Ron Hubbard's Messengers. We've done 7 of those, and they're all listed in a playlist, and we've still got a few more to go till we finish the history of L. Ron Hubbard's Messengers. We've done St. Hill. We've done interviews with all those different people I mentioned. We've done a series on the free winds with Scott and Kerry Campbell and Tom Martiniano, and then we still have some more to finish up on that. So, we've done the best we can to tell people's stories and also tell some of the history of Scientology prior to David Miscavige, when things were actually much larger and growing. And then we also cover the abuses, right, Janis?
Yeah, we do. And we've done some of the Apollo and the abuses on the Apollo, but there's more to come on that. I've got so many more photographs and more people to interview to cover more of the history of those days.
That's right. Anyway, we want to say thank you to all of our loyal viewers. We wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't people watching. I mean, who's going to do something and have nobody watch? So we really appreciate you all watching. We appreciate our members of our channel. And if you want to join our membership, just hit that join button and you can find out there's different perks that you get, including an autographed book from Janis if you become a peeling master. And so anyway, we just want to say we want to thank all of our viewers, subscribers, and our channel members. And that was that. So, without further ado, we have a story about New Year's on the flagship Apollo with L. Ron Hubbard and Janis and all that. So, Janis, why don't you take it away?
Okay. All right. I've got some notes here, so excuse me with the notes.
That's okay.
What's your first? Yeah,
You want to put the slide up?
I yeah, I
Okay.
put up here's this is the port of Madeira. Madeira is a Portuguese island in the Atlantic. Off, it's out. It's between Africa and Portugal, and it would take us a while to get out there, and we'd usually sail from Portugal down to Agadir in Morocco, and then go out to Madeira. And it became a habit starting in 1970, where we went to Madeira for Christmas and New Year's. Before that, New Year's was in Valencia in 1968, in Corfu, Greece in 1969. And then we'd left that area and reached out into the western part of the Mediterranean and the Atlantic. So 1970, we went to Madeira. And while there, we see that the locals would put on an incredible fireworks display. And we had some fireworks, so we decided, okay, as soon as they're done with theirs, we will reciprocate and do a fireworks display. And so we did that.
That's
And
the
then-
Apollo out there with the circle around it, right?
Yes, this is to give you an idea of the size of the Apollo compared to all the other passenger liner ships. I mean, we were teeny. We
Yeah.
were only like 360 feet long. So that really gives you how small we were. Anyway, so 1971, we sailed back to Madeira, and they do their fireworks, we do our fireworks, and everyone has a great time. And this is another angle of Funchal, which is the capital of Madeira, and that's the town we used to all go into, and they'd do fireworks coming off the mountaintops and out of the town. It would just be an incredible display. And you can even Google Madeira fireworks, and there's a whole bunch of different years of their fireworks, and people have said it's the world's best firework display for New Year's.
Wow.
I don't know about that, because I've seen some of those firework displays from Sydney Harbour Bridge, and they're just incredible. Anyway, here's another picture of the Madeira Harbour, and this is actually an article that was printed about the Apollo, and you can see it mentions the Apollo and other ships that are in that harbor. So 1972, we sail in at the end of 1971 to spend New Year's 72 in Madeira. And the port captain's office basically works out with the locals how long their fireworks are going to be. And he says, okay, they're going to take till 12:30, and then we'll come on at 12:30 and do our fireworks display. And we were going to put on this huge, huge display. So it was all set up on the starboard side of the ship in the lifeboats, and the fireworks were to come out of the lifeboats. And, everyone had their sand buckets, and the fire hoses were set up, and the covers over the winches were all taken off because they were canvas. And so it was all set up to go. Well, the fireworks finish at 12:15, not 12:30. And Hubbard was going to come up at 12:30 and so forth. So the port captain, Peter Warren, goes into a panic because he didn't want everyone to just, the island fireworks are done. The Apollo's not doing their fireworks. Let's all go home. So Peter Warren's in a panic, and he tells the guys, quickly, get the fireworks moved over to the port side of the ship, and so it's closer to the locals to see, and we'll do our big display there. So in a panic, everything's being moved over, and what isn't noticed is that the propane tanks going down to the galley have rubber hoses that go up to the sun deck and are right by lifeboat number 8. And also there's a canvas cover over the winch for lifeboat number 8 and so forth. Someone sets off a rocket, and the sparks from the rocket set fire to the canvas, and also sets fire then to a whole bunch of other rockets. And it is an insane fireworks display coming out of lifeboat number 8. and it's like the canvas gets caught on fire, and there's these rubber hoses with the propane going down to the kitchen. And my brother happens to be bringing his fireworks over. He sees, and he immediately starts putting the fire out and, dumping sand on it. Someone else is coming up the stairs and smells it and runs off and hits the fire alarm. And meanwhile, before the fire alarm goes off, Hubbard says to me, because we're in his research room right below all this craziness, he says, "I smell fire. Find out what it is." So I go running off, and I'm up on the sun deck and seeing this insanity as these fireworks are going off and there's fire over here. And it was insane. And then Hubbard comes up with, before I even get back there. But we did, of course, do an incredible fireworks display for the locals.
Almost putting the ship on fire.
I mean, it was insane. But yeah, so that was our welcome of 1972. And then 73, we were in Lisbon. So that, we didn't do a big firework display. We weren't in Madeira. But then we went back to Madeira, and then welcoming in 1974, when we sailed in for Christmas, the mayor of Funchal, he asked us, he said, "Do you have any musicians on board? I need a band to perform in the town square for Christmas Eve." So the port captain's like, "Oh, of course we have musicians aboard." And we didn't have the Apollo Stars or any of those bands yet. So the port captain comes back and says, "Hey, any musicians want to put together a band and play in the local square? Let me know and we'll get it set up." So, of course, Captain Bill, who played the flute or clarinet or something like that, he's all into it. And Neil Safadi and Kenny Kampleman and Tamia Arbuckle, all these guys all show up and they start practicing. And Captain Bill, of course, is trying to take control of it. But he wasn't the captain of the ship at the time. Norman Starkey was. Anyway, so they go into town, they do their first gig. And here's the photograph of it, where you can see Luton Taylor.
You want this photo?
No, go back, the other picture. Yeah, this one. Okay. In the middle, that's Luton Taylor. He played trombone. Behind him is Charlie Rush, who played the drums. And then next, the other side to the right, that's Tom Rodriguez, who played bongos. And then in the red jacket, that's Nikki Freeman, Nikki Merwin. That was Mary Sue's communicator. Mary Sue Hubbard's communicator, and she used to be a dancer in Las Vegas. And so she emceed the event, and to the left, that was Helena, who was she was Portuguese, and she joined the crew when we were in Lisbon, and so she was there to do the translation. She married later on Paul Preston, who happened to be the bodyguard for Hubbard when he went to New York in 1973. And when he came back, he and Helena got together. Anyway, so this was the very first event in the town square in Funchal. And then the next picture just is another one of them. There's Tammy there at the back on the right side. And anyway, so they did a big performance, and then they were asked to come back again on New Year's. So they did. And this was the start of the Apollo Stars, was them getting together. And Captain Bill, of course, tried to take control, and they didn't like the idea of playing Captain Bill's big band music. So they kind of eased him out of it. But anyway, from there on, the band ended up getting formed. A lot of people forming it had been in the RPF or other jobs and got replaced, and it was put together, and they started doing local events. They played on the ship for the crew, and then it just became a thing. If we were a musical ship sailing around Portugal and Spain, and then later on when we got kicked out of Madeira, that's where the famous rock festival was. And I'm actually, people will be happy to hear this, in the new year we'll do a show on the rock festival. I have about 5 people who were there who I'm going to put together, and we're going to discuss the rock festival. Anyway, so then after we left Madeira and we went over to the Caribbean, we still was the musical ship sailing around the Caribbean islands until we ran out of ports. So anyway,
you were the happy musical ship of CIA
the CIA
employees,
ship. That's right.
CIA spies. That's who you were.
Yes. Anyway, yeah, and so then our 1975 New Year's, that was spent in Nassau in the Bahamas. And I'll tell you, that was the funnest New Year's I've ever attended. They have what is called the Junkanoo, and they have a parade that goes through town, a big carnival parade, and the floats are all made out of paper mache. And everyone's kind of doing the bump as they're going down the street, you know, to the music. And I just stayed out the whole night just bumping around town.
Yeah, I heard about that Junkanoo from Lori Englehart. You know what I mean?
Oh, really?
You remember Lori? Yeah. Oh, I remember she would talk about it when I worked in the Fort Harrison in Clearwater. Lori Englehart was a longtime chief steward for the crew, and then also commanding officer for different organizations. But on the ship, she also was in the Apollo Stars, right?
Yes, she was. She was in the Troubadour. She was the singer. Yeah. But yeah, that Junkanoo, I'll tell you, if you're ever in the Bahamas for New Year's, go to the Junkanoo parade. It was so much fun. And I was, I think, 18 years old, and everyone I'd gone to town with had disappeared, and I'm there with these 2 locals who worked for the Chandler, and they just took care of me and escorted me and made sure I was protected and safe, and I had a great time just dancing in the streets.
That's great. Now, what I remember about New Year's in the Sea Organization, when I first joined the Sea Org in Clearwater, we would have, like I said on the Christmas video, we'd have big events and big banquet on Christmas, but we'd also have a big event on New Year's Eve and a big party, just dancing. And of course, if you were single male or single female, that was your opportunity as a Sea Org member to try to, you know, connect up with somebody to be your boyfriend or girlfriend. So that was always a great opportunity. But that went on until Hubbard died. And before Hubbard died, actually, I forgot about this. We used to, some days on some years, we would get what were called Ron's journals, and he would record messages to all the Scientology public, and they would be played at the events. And the one I remember the most, I think it was 1984, when I was working for Miscavige. I just started. Hubbard was in hiding with Annie Broker and Pat Broker. We had no idea where he was, and he had been out of communication for some time. And all of a sudden, we got a request to send up recording equipment, a microphone and recording equipment, to Pat Broker, who then took it to Hubbard. And then Hubbard recorded, he wanted to record a New Year's message. So all the WDC Watchdog Committee members, they had to write up what had happened, the expansion that had happened over the past year, and a script was put together for Hubbard. And I'm sure you may have remembered this, Janis, because you guys all had to participate in it. It was all sent up to him, and then he recorded it himself with just Annie, the script, and then it was sent back to the Gold Base, and then we had to edit it together because at that point we were going into computers, and INCOM, the International Network of Community Organized Management, was just starting, and Hubbard's whole message in the Ron's journal was the world has gone computer, and this is 1984. So we had to put in little things where he would be like typing on a keyboard, top, bop, 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 and then he would give a message about the Missions International, bop, 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 and then about WISE, bop, 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 about expansion, and that was all put together, recorded, and then it was sent out to the organizations, and those were big messages at the time because Hubbard had not been seen, and I remember that. Janis, do you remember that?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, very much so. And I remember the sound of the telex machine.
Well, it's actually like supposed to be a computer keyboard. Yeah.
Yeah. Always so it's like a telex machine.
Yeah. And it was just sort of to create the illusion that Hubbard was, typing on a computer. But that's how that was put together. And then of course, after he passed away, that's when Miscavige started doing the International Management New Year's. And they used to do them live and, broadcast them via satellite. And I can remember the one I remember most is doing one at the Shrine Auditorium. And then we had a big party at the Biltmore Hotel in downtown Los Angeles where we were all in black tie and all that. And I was with my wife, Julie. And the only thing I remember about that is, after the event was done, because I worked for Miscavige, you never knew whether or not you could enjoy yourself, because it was New Year's, or some flap was going to happen and you were going to be working. So I was always walking on eggshells.
But there was a flap because I remember everyone was clapping and no one stood up and gave a standing ovation.
For Miscavige?
And he was expecting a standing ovation and no one did. We all just kind of sat there clapping.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. That's right. So then it was like, get me this person, get me that person so he could chew them out, and we're all just trying to have fun for New Year's, and it was just crazy. Right. But that's what I remember about that. And then, of course, shortly after that, we were gone. And then the other New Year's that I remember is when the Millennium, changed. When we went from 1999 to 2000, we were here in Las Vegas. A few years before, people always ask me, do you go down to Las Vegas Strip for New Year's? I did it one time. I think I did it with a bunch of, I'm not sure if you were with us or some other people, but we went down there one time. And there were bottles thrown and stuff like that. And we went, no, we're never going to do that again. So I never did it again.
When we arrived in Vegas, it was the 31st of December, 1990. So we were like, okay, let's go down to the Strip. And we went to the Mirage. And I was pregnant at the time with John because we'd just left the Sea Org, a few months before. And I remember the place there was nowhere to move. I was just surrounded by all these hot bodies and I couldn't move anywhere as everyone's celebrating New Year's. And it was so unreal just how packed it was. And never gone to the Strip again on New Year's. Never.
No, that's for
I've lived here like 30 years now and one time.
Now, the only other time I went, like I said, when we went from 1999 to 2000, I was downtown, not on the Strip, downtown near the Stratosphere, which is the big tower, and they were going to shoot fireworks off of that, on the Millennium, but they were supposed to. Vegas used to not have great fireworks shows on New Year's Eve, and the capper was the year 2000 because they were packed on the Strip. But anyway, I left the bar that I was in with friends, and we stood out on the corner underneath the Stratosphere. And I remember when it changed to 2000, of course, everybody was worried about all the computers crashing, right? That didn't happen. But then I remember seeing the fireworks there. And then I remember going home and seeing, there was some crappy show from the Paris, the Eiffel Tower on the Strip, with there was no fireworks. Every year since then, there's been huge fireworks shows on the Las Vegas Strip because people complained.
Actually, I was down on the Strip at the Tropicana for the year 2000 coming in because I remember now I had the glasses 2000 and I had a head thing with the feather coming out the top. But we went to a private party and stayed at the hotel, so we didn't have to.
Were you with Annie Hilton? I'm just joking.
No, not that year.
Yeah, just joking. I know. I can remember you being with Annie Hilton on yours sometimes. It was fun.
Yeah. We have good times together.
Yeah. But now, of
Yeah.
course, I'm so old. I used to go downtown I have a bar that I'm friends with everybody there, and I've gone down there from time to time on New Year's. But now I'm just so old. I'd rather watch it. The ball drop at 9 o'clock on the East Coast, right in New York, and then go to bed.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, now I have my dog, so I guess I'm just going to sit on the couch and watch New York New Year's come in at 9 o'clock with the dogs, and that's it.
That's it.
But, but you know what? I was thinking back on the New Year's, and today is actually at the 2-year anniversary of Paul passing away.
Right.
And I was thinking back of what we used to do on New Year's. And he actually used to get sick nearly every New Year's.
Oh,
Probably 50% of the time he would get sick and he'd be in bed and with a fever or whatever. It was just this interesting thing every New Year's, even when we were in the Sea Org. Our first New Year's together, I ended up going to the party by myself because he was sick.
oh,
And then interestingly enough, when he passed away, it was right before New Year's.
right.
So it was a pattern that he had in his life, and go figure.
No, I understand. Well, we miss Paul, obviously, and anyway, yeah, I remember that. So
Yeah.
I wanted to bring up, what we've got coming up in the new year. Janis, I know, like you said, we've got a lot of people lined up that are now wanting to speak out and tell their stories, right?
Yes, we do. Yes, I just have to get it all scheduled, but we've got Sandy Holman's coming up. And as I said, I've got Sandy was with me on the ship, and I've got a group of about 5 people that we'll do the Madeira incident with. Hannah Eltringham, she's just trying to clear her schedule, and we're going to discuss the Avon River and the Royal Scotsman. I've got Joe Van Staden. I've got a bunch of different people, and we'll go, and musicians as well for the Apollo Stars that I'll interview with. And there's still some more people I'm working on to, peel their onion a little bit about going live.
Yeah, and then we've also got stories we want to tell about, the different private investigators and spies and things that happened here in Las Vegas. We'd like to talk about Dave LeBeau and Ferris Khan and the Australia incident, and there's lots of different stories. I'd like to tell a story about Stacy and Vaughn Young, who were, they were some of the original people who spoke out against Scientology, and they were really close and dear friends of mine. And we've got quite a bit. I mean, we also I want to do a video. We haven't yet done a video on the running program. Janis, you were the original person on the running program, and I did the running program as well.
That's
so we'd
right.
like to tell stories about that too. So there's a lot coming up.
And also my days on the RPF. And the rest of the Messenger series. Messenger series 8 is already going through my head, so I've got to get that done pretty soon to get it out of my head.
Yeah, and then we're going to finish up with Carrie and Scott and Carrie Campbell on the Free Wins. They're going to tell their personal story. We're going to do some more lives, and it's just, we got plenty. It seems like Scientology is a never-ending subject. But like I said, we concentrate on the history and stories. Every once in a while, we'll comment on current events, but that's basically what our channel is. It's different than other people's, and we try and contribute to the SPTV community where we can and all that. So, but if you enjoy our videos, please subscribe to our channel. Hit that subscribe button down below. It helps get the message out to other people, because the YouTube algorithm will grab a popular video, push it out to people who might be interested in it, and it helps get the message out. So please subscribe, rock slam that like button, of course. And then if you've got any questions or comments or anything like that, you can ask us down below. We do answer those questions. And if you'd like to donate to our channel, you can always buy us a coffee. There's a link in the description down there. You can click on it. We always appreciate any support. And then, of course, Janis's books are available.
Yes, if you haven't read my books yet, please do, and take a nice relaxing day in the new year and binge read it.
Absolutely. I just saw somebody commenting on your book as well. I mean, we've got 2 books. You can get them down below in our store. They're autographed. You can get autographed copies, or you can order them from Amazon. And so they're always available too. And it's a good New Year's gift to yourself or to
Yes.
somebody else who's interested in this subject. So
The
anyway,
truth is out there in my books.
absolutely. Anything else you'd like to say, Jess? We wanted to wish everybody a happy new year, happy 2024. We wish everybody good health in the new year. And, we hope everybody has a good time and continues to grow. How about you, Janice?
Yes, everyone, have a great new year. Be prosperous and, just do well in life, keep creating, and have fun. That's what it's all about. Don't forget the fun.
That's right. Anyway, until the next time, which we will be here back to you with you very soon, we want to thank everybody sincerely for watching. We want to thank you for your support of our channel, and we wouldn't be able to do it without you. And we really want to say thank you very much.
And I'm
Right there.
ready to start rocking to that music.
Unfortunately, I don't have the music to rock out to, but
Oh,
we'll say until next time. Bye bye.
bye. Happy New Year.